This is a Monty moment. I'm Johnny Montalbano. As we get you ready for Week 5, the first football in October here, as we transition to the second month of the NFL season. As we look back at September, and I'll tell you what, we'll do a quick NFL checkpoint here as we finish the first month, pretty much the first quarter of the NFL season, and it goes by quicker and quicker every year. And when I look back at this first month of the year, to me, there are three big winners, three big disappointments so far in the league through the first month. To me, my biggest winners so far here in this month, the Houston Texans, the Baltimore Ravens, and the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. You know, the Texans, I think they finally have found their quarterback there in C.J. Stroud. He's been off to a historic start down there in Texas. He's his yards have been tremendous. You know, he's not turning the ball over. His offensive line's been great. And they're 2-2 through the first 4 games. They've had an impressive start. The Baltimore Ravens, Lamar Jackson so far looks healthy. You know, I know they had one blip there against the Colts, but I think they've been off to a very, very good start. They've maybe been very fortunate with the situation that's going on there with the Cincinnati Bengals. But I said to you at the start of the year, I think the Ravens were going to be a bounce back team. So far, it's looking good. Of course, all hinges on if Lamar Jackson can stay healthy. And how about the Tampa Bay Buccaneers? You know, Baker Mayfield has gone down there. I thought the Bucs would be one of the worst teams in the league. I thought they'd maybe get 4 wins at most. Well, they're 3-1 so far in the NFC South. So we'll see if they can keep that train going down there in Tampa. My disappointment so far for the first month, you got to go with the Cincinnati Bengals. Yeah, I understand Joe Burrow's hurt, but you know what? This is a team that, you know, they gave him 5 years and $275 million. You've got Jamar Chase. You've got T. Higgins. I know Higgins is hurt. Jamar's not happy right now, but, you know, they have not been able to shore up that offensive line there in Cincinnati. And, you know, they go to play Arizona, who's been competitive so far through the first month of the year. I mean, if they lose there, I mean, it's the lowest point there in Cincinnati, and then you wonder where they go from there. The Carolina Panthers are another one. They're 0-4. I thought this team was going to be really good with C.J. Stroud, with the additions they had made in the offseason. They brought in a lot of help on the offense, and they've just not been able to get it going at all. Defensively, they've not been terrible, but offensively, they have just not been able to get it going. And now they go on Sunday to take on the Lions up in Detroit. And the Minnesota Vikings, I know that they've been in every game. It's been very, very close. But this is a team that's got arguably the best wide receiver in football in Justin Jefferson, and they're just 1-3. That's really it. You know, I can't say the Jets or the Giants, at least from a local side, because if you're the Jets and you went all in on Aaron Rodgers and you pretty much made that offense run around Aaron Rodgers, I can't say they're a disappointment right now. Now, they got a huge swing game coming up on Sunday against the Broncos. The Giants, look, the Giants are playing a very, very tough schedule this year. And, you know, maybe they took advantage last year of a favorable schedule, but you know what? You can only play the teams that are on your schedule. And they've had a very, very grueling challenge this year so far. It doesn't get any easier because you go to take on a Miami team that was pissed off after last week and a Buffalo team. I mean, they're staring possibly at 1-5. We will definitely talk about this and a lot more coming up on Football Friday. But that's what I would say. And then the other thing to look at through the first month, you have 12 teams in the league right now that are at the 500 mark at 2-2, including the entire AFC South. So, you know, which of those 2-2 teams are legitimate? Do we say the Steelers right now? I like them defensively. I think offensively they're a question mark. I love the Browns defense, offensive question mark. The Colts, I don't think there's going to be people to keep this going. The Jaguars, I think, will. The Texans, I like what they're doing right now. I thought they were going to be a 7-win team. They're right now looking like a much better than 7-win team. The Titans, I just don't see anything with them. The Chargers, even though Justin Herbert's dealing with that fractured finger, fortunately, they're on a bye for them. The Commanders, I don't see them really keeping it going, even though they do play on Thursday. The Packers are going to be a team that are going to go through some growing pains. Jordan Love has played well for the most part there in Green Bay. The Falcons, another one of those teams. I think Desmond Ridder, they're going to go as far as Desmond Ridder can take them. The Saints are really a tough team to figure out because they look like they have the potential to win 10 games, but then they could easily lose 10 games. They're hard won. And the Rams, so far without Cooper Kupp, have actually done quite well. You know, Puka Nacua is arguably the best receiver right now in the league so far this year. So we'll see what those teams do as we get you set for Week 5 of the NFL. And again, it's just crazy to say that we'll almost be at the 1/3 mark of the NFL season after Monday. But you get ready for week number 5 and you take a look at the injuries that we're dealing with right now. If you look at Pittsburgh right now, Kenny Pickett left. He's dealing with a left Sunday's game against the Texans early. He's dealing currently with a bone bruise in his left knee. He did practice in some capacity on Wednesday. Mike Tomlin said that his availability will be determined as the week unfolds. And if he cannot go, we could be looking at Mitch Trubisky starting there for the Steelers against the Ravens on Sunday. Tre'Davious White for the Buffalo Bills, terrible thing here. So he tore his ACL back in 2021, and he ended up tearing his Achilles in the last minute of the third quarter in their big win against the Dolphins. But on a good news front, though, they did confirm, Sean McDermott did, that pass rusher Von Miller will return to practice this week, which will open the 21-day window. He's coming back from a major injury. He tore his right ACL on Thanksgiving last year, and that could be a big boost there for the Buffalo Bills. The Bills will take on the Jaguars in London on Sunday morning. T. Higgins for the Bengals, dealing with a fractured rib, a broken rib, something that he could play through, but the Cincinnati Bengals are an absolute mess. We know the situation with Joe Burrow, and Jamar Chase was very angry after their most recent loss to the Titans. And maybe the Cardinals are the best thing for the Bengals come Sunday. Then again, maybe not. And Teron Armstead, the left tackle for the Miami Dolphins, already been ruled out for Sunday's game against the Giants with a knee injury, according to Mike McDaniel earlier in the week. We said this before with Teron Armstead. He's great for protecting Tua there in Miami, and we'll see. It wasn't a re-aggravation, according to McDaniel, but he did say that his return was going to be a matter of, quote, weeks and not days. Kendall Lamb will slide into Armstead's left tackle position until he's able to return. The Dolphins, for the most part, have done well in protecting Tua. They've allowed only 5 sacks through 4 games, but 4 of those came in Sunday's loss to the Bills. And they'll face a Giants team which, right now can't protect their own quarterback and can't get to the quarterback on defense. So we'll see how long the situation is. I'd be more concerned about this for their Week 6 matchup against Carolina, who does rank 4th in sacks per attempt. And we'll see if Armstead's able to return by then. But getting you ready for the start of week number 5. We had a good week last week in the NFL. Went 10-5-1 against the spread. Scored 22 points personally. So that gets me up to the 36-25-3. Last year, if you remember watching our Montie Moments and Football Fridays last year, I couldn't sniff 500. And this so far, we're off to a very, very good start. Got 81 points. We'll see if we can get you a winner here for Thursday night in a game that really not going to be for the faint of heart. The 0-4 Chicago Bears and the 2-2 Washington Commanders at FedEx Field. It's an Al Kirk and Kaylee special on Amazon. There's really not much to discuss with this one. The Commanders are laying 6 points at home in this one. The Bears are 0-4 straight up, 0-4 against the spread. They can't win when they don't score. They can't win when they do score. We saw Justin Fields actually play his best game of the year against the Broncos last week, and it still wasn't in a winning effort. I mean, I know he had a bad interception. He had a bad, fumble there. Of course, Matt Eberflus made a very questionable, at best, decision, not taking a field goal when they had a chance to retake the lead late in the fourth quarter, deciding to go for it on that 4th and short, which did not convert and allowed the Broncos to go down there and win the game. But, how do you pick the Bears here? I mean, maybe if this game's in Chicago, you look at the Commanders, and, the Commanders at least had some positive signs this year. Really, their worst game was that Week 3 blowout loss to the Bills, but the Bills are looking like a more and more legitimate team as the weeks have gone by. I think their defensive front, the Commanders' defensive front, is going to be able to cause some trouble for the Bears. And Eric Bieniemy has the club's offense playing better than expected. You just wonder how Sam Howell is going to continue to do. But look what they were able to do last week against arguably one of the best teams in the NFC. Maybe not the best team, but one of the top ones there in the Philadelphia Eagles. I think a better play, if you wanted to make a play in this game, I would take the under at 44.5. I think this is going to be kind of a lower scoring game, but I think the Commanders are going to command to a 24-17 win here over the Bears. So pick number 1 in week number 5. It is going to be the Commanders, I should say, laying the 6 on Thursday Night Football against the Commanders. And that's how we're going to get week 5 of the NFL started. Start of a big week here for us here on the Montie Moment and the Empty the Bench Podcast Network. I will see you back on Thursday for the college football checkpoint and our week 6 of CFB A lot of stuff to discuss there. I will see you back with the guys on Friday at 12 p.m. Eastern for Week 5 of Football Friday. Yes, there'll be fewer games, but there'll still be a lot to discuss. And if that's not enough, the Empty the Bench Podcast Network will see you on Sunday morning for a special live stream of the London game between the Jaguars and the Buffalo Bills. Coverage there will start at 9:15 a.m. Eastern. So wake up early Sunday morning with us, and we will get you through the London game and then get you leading into a full Sunday of NFL action. So a lot of stuff to get here as we start October. I'll see you on Thursday and Friday. This has been a Monty moment, and I'm Johnny Montalbano.